Welcome to At the Cottage with me, ChefD. This year we teamed up with Gypsy Wind Coaches, Tourism Ontario, and we're keeping it local. Today we're at Hockley Valley in Mono, near Orangeville, in the garden, at the winery, and cooking up pizza. Did I mention a cheese cave? Let's do this. Hey, I'm in the garden here with Chef Innie, the chef de cuisine here at Hockley Valley. Brother, this is heaven.
It is actually, I call it a chef's dream paradise.
Like, this is fantastic. You have the gardens, which is just out in front of us. This garden here is more to your right, is the garden for that you give back to the community, right? This is for the food bank?
We grow a lot of stuff for the Orangeville Food Bank, which we do every year, and we started that initiative, and it's such an amazing thing to give back to the community.
And then on my left is you have all that you can come out and pick and do that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We are all-season resort, and in the summertime, this is the best thing to do. You come harvest, all our chefs and cooks are bound to come down, spend an hour, and harvest.
Okay, so if this isn't working out, the TV thing, I might come and help you out a couple times, okay?
That would be amazing, actually.
Speaking of that, staffing here, because you're not right close to the city. I know Orangeville is about 15 minutes away. Now, do you have people actually come from the city, like down Brampton, Toronto area, to come up and work with you?
Absolutely. So it has always been a tough ask to get staffing levels up here. But at the end of the day, when people come here for interviews and they see all this and they want to do certain things like this in their life and they want to do scratch cooking, they want to stick down. So we have a lot of staff who comes from Toronto, Brampton, Newmarket, so which is good.
Nice. Now, not only on part of this property, you have the winery, right? And you just got awarded with the best winery in Ontario last year?
Yes, that was last year in 2019 for us. And it's a proud moment because a lot of people thought that we won't be able to do wines up here. And then when this was started, Mr. Mario Adamo actually proved it wrong. And now we do so many wines up there, which I will be taking you up there for tour and tasting. It's just amazing.
Yay! Sorry.
Yeah, it's just amazing. We have some beautiful food up there. We do a lot of in-house made charcuterie up there. And if you like everything, you can just buy some stuff and take it home.
Which is even better, right? So not only can they come and stay at the resort, but you can make this a day trip, right? Come in, take a tour of the property. If you want to play a round of golf, you can. I forgot to bring my golf clubs, but you can do that. You can also go up to the winery, like as you mentioned, that. Okay, you also have a cheese cave and a meat cave in the hotel.
That is something we are very proud of. The cheese cave, the curator for that is the Cheese Boutique Toronto chef Afram Pristine.
Oh, I know him well.
Everybody knows him. He's such a fantastic chef, and he chooses all the cheeses for us. And the meat is something which we say it's our pride. We make it in-house. We do prosciutto, capicolo, soppressata, bresaola, cocciutorino, cocciatore. There's so many different kind of meats. I can just go on.
You could have been an Italian,
I wish I was, but I'm not.
It's funny you say that. And the viewers know how much I love Italian food. And I think Italian food is one of those cuisines that just brings you to the table. And having laughs and sharing stories and everything. And truly, when it boils down to it, that's what we're here for, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely we are.
So, last question. Michelin rated. You've worked in Michelin-rated restaurants in France and that, and home is India, right?
Yes, home is India. I started my career and my job back home.
So what brought you to Canada? Like, was it work? Was it
So I did start my career a long time back, and with my education degree and my master's, and I kept working my way up with different companies. And then there was a point where I said, you know what, I want to take a break. I want to study some more.
Yep.
What about Canada?
Okay.
Came down here, such a beautiful country. I went to Georgian College. I graduated from there, and then I got the opportunity to go to France and worked in Strasbourg in a Michelin star. Came back here, and I said, I love this place. You know what? Nothing like Canada. So I went up north, which was in Muskoka, Bigman
Yep.
Island Golf Club, and then I came here, and my journey started here in 2013. I have never looked back.
And sous chef in the restaurant, and now you're the chef de cuisine.
Yeah, I started in 2013 as a sous chef in Cabin, which is our signature restaurant. And that day I said, you know what? I want to own this place. I want to be the chef of this place. This
Nice.
is my business.
I love it. I
That's
love
what
it.
we
I
do.
love it. Okay, we're in the garden.
Yep.
You offer pizzas 3 days a week, right? Friday,
Yes.
Saturday, Sunday,
Friday,
right?
Saturday, and Sunday, 12 to 5.
Okay, so you're starting off with a dough.
Yep. Yep. So there's two ways you can do it, of course. What we're going to do is we're going to do scratch, which is the dough. We have
Yep.
it ready. It's proofed. We're going to roll it out. Or you can roll it out, par bake them, and put in the oven with desired, toppings and everything.
So now, when you're making the dough for your pizza, now is it the one that you use a little bit of yeast and cold water and let it ferment for
Absolutely, yeah.
24 hours?
Yeah, we have different recipes. For the garden, we use the dry yeast recipe, and in Cabin, we use the fresh yeast recipe.
Okay.
So, which works both ways. Again, as we spoke about before, that cornmeal, you can add polenta to do it. We do it with flour. So that is one really good, cool thing that everybody has at home, right? And
And you just mentioned something, because this is really cool. Fresh yeast versus dry yeast. What's the difference, so the viewer will know?
dry yeast, again, if you don't like that yeasty flavor, you want to use the fresh yeast. The fresh yeast doesn't have a big shelf life,
Right.
unless you store it in your freezer. If you're storing in the fridge, you want to make sure that you want to use it off very quick. Dry yeast has a longer shelf life. If you're stuck somewhere, as we all were for the longest time, that's when your dry yeast comes in place and you can keep using it, right?
Perfect. So you're going to get started on your dough. As you mentioned earlier, you can do the dough as chef's doing it, or you can actually bake it ahead of time, take it up to the cottage, put it in the freezer. Again, you don't want to spend a lot of time in the kitchen. You want to be out enjoying the garden, golfing, skiing, wherever you want to go. And I'm going to get started on our bacon and caramelized onions. Chef also has a beautiful wood grill, which is right behind me. And we have a fry pan just getting ready. I have some great Nutrifarms bacon. I picked a couple onions. Shh, don't tell Chef. I was in the garden. I picked some onions. We're going to chop that up and get going. Now the tomato sauce. Now you're using Italian tomatoes?
Yes, we are. The San Marzanos,
Yep.
which is, I think, everybody's love for Italian sauces. And fresh basil, as we spoke about, we have some fresh basil in our garden, garlic from the garden, onions, also coming out of the garden, right? So,
and then I roasted off some garlic here for us in the pizza oven. Now your pizza oven, again, brick, you use it 3 days a week, so you're always, have it going and it's hot. And if you close it off today, tomorrow you could come back in the morning and it's going to be 300
absolutely,
degrees.
it will be still there because it will still have some ashes and a little bit of coal in there to keep it hot. And once you come in, you just want to make sure you have dry wood.
Yep.
And you put it in, and here you go. Off to a good start.
Okay. And we're going to make 3 pizzas today, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to make some Italian pizzas and one of your favorites.
Okay, perfect. When we come back, that's what we'll be doing.
Yo, check this out.
So, Chef has already made a beautiful margherita pizza. Your one with the prosciutto,
The Calabrese.
Calabrese pizza, absolutely fantastic. Again, because they have the meat cave, the cheese cave. So, I put Chef over here because you all know how much I love playing with fire and wood ovens and all that. So, Chef, we have some chicken and we have some...
We have some summer squash, which we grow in the garden, and some garden onions. We're going to make a nice little salad out of that.
Perfect. So, while that's going on, I'm going to make my pizza.
Sure.
But you also did something really cool. You had Feast on Terrier out here last year, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And can you explain a little bit what happens with that? Because that's a really cool thing that happens.
That was actually, it was a couple of years back when
Okay.
we started our winery,
Yep.
and that was amazing. It's called as terroir, and people came down from different places. We had so many people walking down to the winery because the winery is so big. We had some pit roasting going on from different chefs. We had a ravioli station. We have a carving station. That was really cool.
It's a fun time because it's Feast on, it's all local, and
Yeah.
it's funny, both of us are listening to the chicken going, we know it's done, we know it's done. So, with my pizza, again, using some great Nutrifarms bacon, some onions that I stole from Chef's Garden, and some garlic that I got at the Owen Sound Market. Fantastic Ontario garlic. If you don't use it, please do. And then, because, who else has a cheese cave but, other than you? Okay, so I have some Cambozola here, so I'm going to put a little bit of Cambozola on this pizza. How's it going in the pizza oven there?
Oh, it's
young
really
man?
good right now. We are
Okay.
almost there with the cooking part of it.
So, can you explain to the viewer what Feast on is?
So Feast On is all about local, supporting local, all the local chefs and
Yeah.
the culinary vision of
Yeah.
it. I was chosen as Feast On Month
Yeah.
chef, and I spoke about sustainability,
Yeah.
which is very important at this time of year, right? We support each other, we support local, and we make sure our farmers get the best out of us for them. So, yeah, it is really good.
It's such a great, and you as a viewer can look at your local restaurants and they'll have the Feast On designation in the window of the restaurant. And, all three of my restaurants are all Feast On certified.
Wow.
Just love it. So I'm going to put some fresh rosemary because we have this. And next to basil, what's better than rosemary? And then also, when I was in the cheese cave, okay, I might have spent a little bit of time in the cheese cave today, sorry, Chef.
That's all
You
good.
also have some paella, which is this really sweet version of Parmesan. So we're going to plain it, put a little bit on my pizza. I'm saying this like I own the place now. Now, not only do you grow your own garden, but you also support a lot of really cool farmers, don't you?
Oh yeah, so we do support New Farm, and we support Fiddlefoot Farm, which is again local, and Dripline.
Yeah.
New people, new person in Dripline, but amazing seedlings they grow. Yeah, I can see you're enjoying the cheese at the same time. Yeah, but supporting local always been a goal. We have some beautiful aquaponic comes from Aqua Greens in Toronto, who are again, it's all about sustainability. So yeah, that's more important for us and for the culinary vision we have.
So,
That's ready to go.
okay, good. Because my pizza's ready to go. Are you guys ready to go? Are you guys going to follow me into the oven? Not literally. Speak softly and carry a big paddle is my new words to live by. So we have some greens that you have. We
Yeah.
have some fresh arugula.
Yep.
We're going to put on the plate. Now you have. Okay, explain to me again. You get your own olive oil in.
Yeah, we get it from Calabrese and we bottle it here.
So how many liters of olive oil would you bring in?
That's a good question. We go through a lot.
Yep.
So I will say approximately almost close to 500 liters, which is a good
It's going to be
volume.
$4.99 after today.
Yeah,
And you can't see, but we have sous chef behind the camera. He's watching me really intensely about doing these pizzas properly. No pressure. I feel a little bit of heat.
because he owns the pizza oven.
Right?
So yeah.
Right, and, you say owning it, and that's what's so cool about people who are really passionate in this
Yeah.
industry. They own the position that they have.
My motto always has been one thing. Wherever you work, if you don't own that business, I don't think you can sustain in that business. Because
Right.
you need, whoever you're working for, you need to think that you are the owner, you are the one who's putting all the money in it. It's your own. that's where the passion and the love comes out from.
Right.
And that's what we believe in. And that's why I always have said this. We are not employees here, we are family. And
it.
you joined the family today.
Yes! My pizza's like literally 30 seconds away, and that's not a kitchen 30 seconds. Yes, chef, I'll have it. It's going to be a perfect looking pizza. I'll tell you that right now. Oh, there's something just being outside here in the garden with you, just being able to do this. This is absolutely fantastic.
I feel these are tough times for a lot of people.
Yep.
And when you get to go to a place where you can socially distance and you have no panic button and it's away from the city, which is the best part about it, and you can just relax in the amount of space we have. Wow. My sous chef is going to have a lot of...
I'll just bring that out. How's that looking there, chef?
Wow, that's beautiful.
Okay, I'll cut a piece. I'm going to try your Calabrese. You're going
Beautiful.
to try my pizza.
Sure.
And then I know you have to get back into the kitchen.
Absolutely.
Chef, I can't thank you enough for spending some time with us today.
Thank you.
Sharing your love, sharing your passion. This has been absolutely fantastic.
Thank you so much
yeah,
from
this-
all of our family, and I wish you always the best, and hopefully we'll see you next time again.
100%.
And I'm going to lock my cheesecake.
Sometimes it's really rough being Chef D. And right now is one of those times where, I'm taking one for the team. I'm here with Shannon, the wine manager, right? Wine manager of Adamo. I'm not saying that right.
Yeah, Adamo Estate Winery.
Okay, amazing. We have a little bit of a rosé here, and I might have to have a sip because, I'm getting dry.
Oh yeah.
That is unbelievable.
Isn't it delicious?
Okay, so I gotta ask this. A winery on top of a ski hill, not in a wine region. Like, what the heck?
How is that possible?
Right. How did this all come about?
Yeah, so it's very much the brainchild of Mario Adamo. Him and his wife, Nancy Adamo, at the time were owners of Hockley Valley Resort. They had passed their ownership down to John Paul and Julie, who are two of their 4 children. And Mr. Adamo, we call him Mr. A. That's his nickname. That's what they like to be called.
Yeah, I can relate.
He really wanted to start a vineyard where he could just make his own wine and grow his own grapes.
Yep.
And essentially enjoy his retirement.
Yeah, fruits of his labor, no pun
Exactly,
intended, right?
no pun intended. Very much when him and his wife had purchased Hockley in 1985, people thought he was crazy for wanting to do so. And in the same time as well, people thought he was absolutely crazy starting a vineyard here in Mono. This isn't a wine region. No one's ever tried growing grapes here. Therefore, it cannot be possible.
Right.
But he's very much a man who's a visionary and a man who goes against the grain or against the grape, if you want to say it that way, where he didn't care and he pursued it, where he purchased a few plots of vines from Niagara and started our teaching vineyard over at Hockley.
And that's down in the bottom, right?
Correct. So when you pull up into the property, it's just on the north side where you can see there's several rows of vines. Yep. And that was done where he waited a few seasons after planting it to really see if the soils and the microclimate and if the conditions essentially were sustainable for growing grapes. At the time, we had a consulting winemaker named Jonas Newman, who's from Hinterland Winery, very notable winery in Prince Edward County. Jonas came over, he tested everything out and basically said, you know what, Mr. Adamo, you got something here. You better hire yourself a vineyard manager because you got your work cut out for you.
So then, how many acres of vines now do you have?
Correct. We have 18 acres currently planted here, and we own a 25-acre parcel. So predominantly we grow Chardonnay and Pinot Noir. We do have Vidal, which is directly next to us. We have Riesling, which wins awards every year. We have Gamay Noir.
Okay, hold on to that.
Yeah.
Last year, you won the Winery of the Year, right?
From a New York Wine Challenge.
Okay. Wow. So which wines were you in that?
So that was just as the winery as a whole. So
Okay.
we won best new winery within Ontario, which is huge, considering part of a lot of our labeling is playful, one of which our rosés is called the underdog rosés, because for a long time we were the underdogs, where no one thought it would be possible to do what we're doing here, and we're just showing that through perseverance and through research and through dedication, you can create something that's remarkable here.
So, hiring a winemaker. So, who's your winemaker?
So our winemaker is Shauna White. She's phenomenal. She's native to Kelowna, and her family, you can say she has wine running in her blood.
Okay.
Her family was one of the first to start planting in the Okanagan, and were one of the first families to supply to Mission Hill, which is arguably one of the top wineries in Canada.
100%.
And when she was pursuing different career options when she was younger, her grandmother essentially sat her down and said, "What are you doing? You know you love wine. You know you love being on a vineyard. Why aren't you pursuing this?" And that essentially set her straight. She went to Niagara College, where she got her accolades of being viticulture and winemaker. She did stages all over the world, one in Chablis in France, which is notable for Anouk Chardonnay. She did a stage in Australia, she was in Oregon, she settled in Niagara for a few years, and then in 2014 she joined the Adamo family for the winery here. And part of the reason why she was so excited to join here was that there was so much freedom to really let her creative strides come through. Part of what we do here, we are a boutique style winery, we are a small batch winery. We currently have about 30 different wines on the shelf, and we've made almost 60 different wines. So it's quite remarkable that one person managing that sort of team that can remember each wine and all their needs and everything that's done with them.
So, I know we were mentioning earlier, we've been part of Tourism Ontario doing the show and going around different resorts and that. Have you noticed a change in how people are reacting to COVID, and are they more apt to come here, let's say,
100%.
versus...
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's all good. It's good. You can answer that question from there. So you're noticing a whole lot more people.
100%. I think the pandemic is really shifting everyone's thinking and everyone's perception. Since for the most part, people are still unable or aren't necessarily comfortable leaving the province in order to get away, they're realizing that what you have in your backyard here, so to say, is so close and is so accessible, and you can still have that wonderful getaway experience and still be very close to wherever home is. So we're definitely seeing a surge where we ask people, how did you hear about us? Oftentimes we're advertised on Instagram, or a friend posts something online, or they're doing research and are totally shocked that there's a winery 45 minutes from Toronto and they don't have to trek all the way out to Niagara or all the way out to Prince Edward County. You can come right here, you can stay over at the resort, you get the full package essentially.
That's really cool, really cool. I think it's time that we go for a little tour, don't you?
Let's do it.
Can I bring my wine glass?
You sure can.
Yes. So we're about to taste our tour of your great wines here. So
Excellent.
yeah, let's get started.
Sure, we've picked a really special spot to conduct our tasting here. We're nestled by Block 1, which is also coined as Frank's Corner, and we also have a stunning view of our wedding ceremony site where we can host many a wedding here within our popular season. Frank's Corner here holds a special story. Frank was Mr. Adamo's best friend. When they were in their early 70s, they planted by hand the first 32 rows that you see here.
Wow.
Unfortunately, Frank did not live to see the success of the winery here as it is today. So part of the limestone that was excavated from the soils, we've carved into a plaque to commemorate his best friend and all the
here's to
work
Frank.
that he did. Here's to Frank. So what we're tasting first is our Legacy Pinot Blanc Pet Nat. Have you ever heard of a Pet Nat before?
No, I have not. And I'd like to think of myself as one of the wine guys.
So Pet Nat is the ancestral method of sparkling winemaking. It's short for Pétillant Naturel, which means natural sparkling in French. To put it simply, this is like a baby champagne. So what's happening is from when we pick the grapes to ferment and then finish fermentation in bottle and then release to put on the shelves, it's only a 3-month turnaround. So it's very quick. Because it finishes fermenting in bottle, you see that there's the lees that is still along the bottom, which is why looking at it, you see that cloudy characteristic. And you also see the beautiful bubbles that come through too. So this is just really a fun, invigorating, fresh sparkling wine.
You almost get like a
excellent.
brewer's smell to it, like
Definitely.
aroma. And then you get like the grapefruit to kind of finish, just that tartness of it.
100%. We love to introduce this wine when we have someone coming here and they say, well, I'm not really a wine drinker, I'm more of a beer drinker. We kind of compare this to like a sour rot beer almost. Next in our lineup is our Sauvignon, which is our unoaked Chardonnay. The label is really special. Sauvignon translates from Italian as dream, because it was Mr. Damo's dream to start a vineyard here. And even mimicking on the label, you see the rolling hills, which mimics the landscape that we have here. These are grapes coming from the Noir vineyard in Niagara-on-the-Lake. They're 25-plus-year-old vines, so there's lots of minerality and texture that comes through.
100%.
You get a lot of tree fruit too, some apple and pear. This is definitely one of our most popular.
Ripe pears right away.
Yeah. It's sitting at about approximately 8 grams residual sugar per liter. So really, really crisp, clean, easy drinking.
A nice little butter finish on your tongue right at the end there.
What I love about this wine is that it has a great backbone acidity to it that just really lifts up the fruit and has its full expression that comes through. So next up, we have our Estate Pinot Noir, which has just hit the shelves today, which is pretty exciting. This is coming
Smell
from
the
2018.
oak on that baby. And black pepper, like right away.
100%.
Wow.
Black pepper, black rich cherry for sure.
You know, I sometimes have problems with Ontario Pinot Noirs being way too acidic, and you lose out some of the nuances of that. And we were mentioning off air that, you know, I do like Oregon Pinots. This is unbelievable.
And then lastly of our roster is our Lep Embers Path Merlot. This is coming from 2017, which is relatively a cool, wet year. So you're getting a lot of those subtle nuances that are coming through with neutral oak aging as well. Typically our reds stay in barrel between 16 to 20 months. I like to compare this to a sipping wine. If you're, you know, sitting outside on the campfire and you just want something to kind of end the day right, maybe have a cigar.
No, I could see that, you know, if that's, you know, your pleasure of cigars, this is the wine that you want to have with it.
For sure. You definitely get that leather tobacco and that ripe berry note that comes through too.
Hey, thank you so.
That's from the property, so that's a compliment.
This has been absolutely fantastic. I can't thank you enough for opening my eyes to what you're doing here. And
thank you so much.
Tell Mr. A, you know, I'm sure glad he took that chance. Cheers.
Cheers.